So welcome back to the channel. Glad you took time to stop by. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to our channel and keep up with the latest things that we're doing and things that are going on. Today we're at a house that we built a couple years ago, and we're just going to do a quick walkthrough, talk about some of the things that we did, some of the things that you might want to consider when you're building your own home. So as you come in the front door, you'll see that we've got some radius ceilings. Back years ago, ceiling details were a big feature in homes. Kind of seems to have kind of resided in the fad so far. As we go into the great room, you can see in this room, this is kind of a modified coffered ceiling. It still gives you that same coffered look, but we did something a little bit different, giving it this diagonal detail in the middle. And just mixing it up a little bit from just, say, plain 9 boxes or something that might otherwise be there. House has a great view out the back, screened-in porch with Trex deck boards. This house is built on a basement, and we chose to do these decks rather than having to backfill the tremendous amount of material that would be necessary to fill up these porch spaces. So in the kitchen, we kind of mirrored the ceiling feature, and this all lines up with the fireplace. From the fireplace straight through to where the range is at, it's all in a nice neat line. The ceiling details are in line together. Just really make this room come together and feel more like one big space rather than the separate pieces. So when you come into the utility room, we've actually got a small porch here off the utility room. If someone ever wanted to do a swimming pool here, it's the perfect place to be able to have a mud space to come in from the pool and shoot straight to a half bath that's here in this hallway. The blue ceiling is something that if you go back and look, there's a lot of different ideas on why people used to paint their ceilings that color. One idea was that it was supposed to keep birds from nesting, and the other idea was it kept evil spirits away. I just like the nostalgia of it. We've also got an outdoor cooking area with 2 green eggs built in there. We use the same stone and brick from the house to do that, the granite countertop, and that way that's all kind of tied into the house as well. Lots of view. So we've done several built-in ironing boards through the years. This one is a little bit different. It's a little bit deeper, so it's partially in the wall and partially out. Some of them recess in the wall completely. This one, the door slides open. You can fold the ironing board down. Got a place for the iron to be stored. It's got some metal in here, so if you put the iron back up when it's warm, it's fine. We've got an electrical outlet built into the box. So very neat feature if you think you're going to iron clothes a lot, it's nice. So a lot of times when we're setting up cabinets and people are wanting to know cabinet prices, and we say that we don't know, it's because we don't know. It depends on what you pick out. This job, all of our cabinets, all of our lowers have dual pull-outs. So this really makes things convenient to be able to get to your pots and pans. You don't have to worry about the things that are stored way back in the back of the cabinet. You can slide it out to you. That's more expensive than if we just put a shelf in that cabinet. So it's up to you how you do these details. All right, so we're gonna go in the master bedroom, take a look at it. Again, a couple of neat things that we've got in here. We've again got an elliptical ceiling that we kind of did with a tray basis and stepped it up. Really just kind of throwing back to some of the things we did several years ago and like that. It's a neat room. I'm not gonna show you what all's in these people's Murphy door, but there's actually a Murphy door here that opens up. That's a hidden space back there. Just looks like a mirror. When we go into the master bathroom, I'll have to turn this light on. I'm pretty big on trying to tie the light and the exhaust fan together. I just think that when we don't do that, people won't turn the fans on. And it's really important that we try to pull this warm, moist air out of these bathrooms. The shower, you'll notice, has no curb. It is basically handicapped accessible. But what's nice about it, you don't have to step over that. It's large enough. There's really no splatter out of it. This is actual marble tile, all real stuff. It's not synthetic materials. So we've got a his and hers closet in here. We really like, and the light's already on, but these are on occupancy switches. So you don't have to worry about leaving the closet light on. They come on when you walk in. They go out at a predetermined amount of time. We can set that occupancy sensor to different amounts, whether it goes out in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. That way you don't have to worry about these lights. So in the basement, we've got a really just killer big, open, great room, game room, whatever a person would want to do with it. We started doing these ceilings this way where that we just black everything out back probably around 2006 or so was the first one that we had ever done. And it was an attorney here in Bowling Green wanted it done, and we've done a lot of these since. It's a little bit less expensive than if we were trying to do a drywalled ceiling or something, but it certainly keeps the room feeling, I think, a lot bigger because we're not bringing a ceiling down, and we're just using the full height of the space, which in this case is 10-foot poured walls. And so we get a 10-foot high ceiling with just the few places where we've got ductwork dropped down below it. So again, we get asked about cost of building. And it's a difficult thing to answer because we can have what would be an off-the-shelf style builder-grade door, or we can buy much more expensive doors. And I'm a big proponent of Anderson-style doors. These doors are actually Therma-Tru, which is a very similar product. And I'm going to push this because this has to be engaged with the door shut for the system to work. But when we lift the handle, if you see down here at the bottom, and right up here about midways, it engages another locking pin. And once you've done that, you still also have a deadbolt that comes out. So this is called a 3-point locking door. And you can see the pins go in and out when I operate the handle. The point of this, the idea behind it is just that when we close the door and we lift that handle, it pulls the door into the door jamb, which compresses your weather stripping and just makes for a much better seal on your home. It's basically impossible to keep these doors from warping. Almost every single one of them does. And so if you only have a single point lock here in the center of your door and the door is warped one way or the other, that means at the top or maybe at the bottom, or for that matter, maybe both, it's not really pulling up good against your weather stripping. But with this 3-point lock, it draws that up tight and you get a much better seal. So you've got to decide. We go from that $800 to $1,000 off-the-shelf door to these doors are going to run somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000 to $4,000 a piece in a lot of cases. We may be able to find some options that are a little bit less, but this is an expensive door. But I just want people to understand there is a difference. So another really nice feature of this home is it's got a Bryant Evolution Series HVAC system. That's one of their high, at the time this house was built, it was actually their highest end split system. Basically our next step would be going to geothermal. The thing about that system, it's got a variable compressor. So this house has a 5-ton unit on it that can operate anything up to 5 tons. If it only needs a couple of tons of cooling in the early spring, that's what it brings on and uses. It's also dual fuel. So in the wintertime, it's using that outdoor air unit as a heat pump till I think our switch over here is about 26 degrees outside air temperature that it brings on the gas to provide the heating. So what that does for you is you really get all the efficiency out of your electric side of your unit while you still get the comfort of gas when it gets really cold outside instead of strip heat like would be in a standard system. So that really helps. The other thing that it does, this system has a variable fan, so it can go into a dehumidification mode, pull moisture out of the house. And if it doesn't need the fan running wide open when it's calling for a little bit of cool, it doesn't have the fan running wide open. So it's a super duper nice system. And again, we stress to people the importance of air sealing, insulation, and the proper HVAC equipment when they're building their home.